Welcome back, everybody. This is the 1UP Nitro National Series, and we are at round number 15 of 25. We're heading into the home stretch of the season, and the second half begins right now. And we're back where it all started back in March at the Pensacola Superspeedway for round 15 of 25 in the 1UP Nitro National Series schedule for 2021. And alongside me in the booth today, as always, is Duke Ansack for this race. You gotta love the super speedways. They provide all sorts of high-speed action, close quarters racing, and the ever-prevalent threat of the big one. Question is, how many cars will be taken out? Because it's not if the big one happens, it's when.
Oh, absolutely. It's a looming thing that it's in the back of every single driver's mind and every crew and every team owner. Everybody's thinking about the big one today, it's possible that it doesn't happen, but it likely will happen. So you want to place yourself in a situation where you can avoid it when it does happen, And we were able to look back to the previous race in this season at this track to see who did well and who was able to be there at the end. And, my eyes are on Sam Donotto, Alexa Lutchen today, just people that are going to be up front for most of the race, fast race cars, and we'll see what happens. Boy, I'm excited to find out.
Qualifying doesn't really mean that much here at super speedway type tracks, but we can give you the full starting lineup for this race regardless. And Sam Donotto, as you said, gets his series best fourth pole position of the season. He lines up alongside Elijah Ironhouse in the number 8, hoping for a better run here than he had back in March. Keon Daly third, Alexa Lutchen fourth, and points leader Alex Verget-Baruch rounds out the top 5. Any surprises that you see up at the front of the field? Because really, the top 5 is pretty much drivers that are already cemented pretty high up in the standings.
Yeah, not a lot of surprises, which is understandable for qualifying. It's single car qualifying, so it's just all about speed and what's built into the car, who's trimmed out more, stuff like that. But it's going to be really interesting to see how people like Sam Donotto, Elijah Ironhouse, Alexa Lutchen, how they're able to stay close to the front today. That's where you're going to want to be to avoid all of the craziness in the back.
And with that being said, the cars are lined up on this steeply banked grid, and we are ready to bring you the action from Pensacola Superspeedway. It is the 1UP Nitro National Series, round number 15, and the green flag is next. Stay tuned for that. Sam Donotto on the inside lane, Elijah Ironhouse on the outside. The pace car's on pit road, and as they approach the restart zone, the green flag is in the air, and we're underway for 40 laps. We're on the Pensacola Superspeedway, and as you can see, the field's already starting to get pretty antsy up here. It looks like the outside lane's forming up a little bit better than that inside, but Sam Donotto holds steady and takes the early lead going into turn 1.
Yeah, as they're powering up through this corner, you want to be on the bottom. It's the shorter way around the track for now. But as we start to get all these cars all the way up to the high gear, they're going to be whirring at the top of the gear. They're going to be having momentum. It's going to be shifting. Things are going to be changing, and Sam Donotto already knows. He went up to the top, and here comes Keon Daly to the bottom. And, oh, my gosh, almost made a crazy move, but the 52 stays ahead for now.
So Keon Daly takes the lead. This could be his first laps led of the 2021 season right here as he comes off turn 4 with the lead ahead of Alex Verget-Baruch and Francois Chastain. Keon Daly gets his first laps led of the season, and he does it on lap 1 here today. Already, after just one lap, an average speed of 194 miles per hour. These cars can get up to about 218, 219 in this race. A little slower than the Superstar cars can get to, but still, that is an impressive speed you can get up to at this place, especially when such close quarters racing like this.
Oh, absolutely, and it's just crazy fast. But when you're sitting there in the car and you're racing, and here's a Chastain making a move for the lead, but when you're sitting there in the car and you're going 200 miles an hour, it doesn't feel like you're going 200 miles an hour, because everything around you is going also 200 miles an hour. But boy, is it dangerous, and watching these guys race 4 wide and some right in the back, it's just absolutely crazy. But the 10 car has led lap 2 of this race.
That is Francois Chastain's first laps led of his career as well. So we've had 2 leaders in the first 2 laps, both of whom have led their first laps of the season. Could we see a third? Because we have Kason Cooper up at the front as well. We rarely see this 51 car run at the front. He makes a move on Onjack. for second place. Casey Cooper is running very deep in the point standings. I'm not sure his exact position. I'm sure you could fill us in on that. But Casey Cooper is mired deep in the points with no top 10s on the season, no laps led. And remember, he finished the March race here on his roof. So he really wants a good day here at Pensacola, but it looks like Chastain's going to lead him off a 4. Cooper makes a move to the inside with help from Logan Williams. And how about A.J. Jones in the 77? He started deep in the field, and he's up to 4th now in that unsponsored Sol Speed entry.
Yeah, well, that 51 car, that Ally, that purple Chevy Camaro sitting there in second place, 35th in points right now. Completely out of the picture, but right now in this race, running in second place with a shot for the lead. That's just absolutely incredible.
And A.J. Jones is even further back than Cooper is. So 44th in points for A.J. Jones. He needs a good thing to happen, as Jake McMillan looks like he's lost the pack. And Elijah Ironhouse on pit road with an early issue. He needs a caution, and he needs it quickly, because these guys, without one, are going to lap him very fast, as Chastain leads his 3rd consecutive lap here in Pensacola. And we've got trouble in the back, almost just as I said it. Oh, and Nicky Martinez is on her roof.
Oh, my.
Nicky Martinez, Jerry Cook, and Santiago Alvarez are involved in this 5th lap accident. And just like that, all 3 of their days look to be over, as Donato dropped to the rear of the field, and the rest of the pack chases down the caution flag, and it looks like Casey Cooper is going for the lead here on Francois Chastain. So Cooper is making a move for the lead, and he'll likely hold it for a while under the caution flag. So if Cooper can hang on here,
we'll see.
This will be huge for Casey Cooper, and he'll manage to do it. Yeah. Cooper will take the caution flag in first place.
Yeah. So Cooper got the lead right there, coming to the caution flag. We'll have to wait and see what happened. That was a nasty accident for Nicky Martinez there. But we were just saying, for this car right here, the 8 car, that was pretty much the best thing that could have possibly happened, because he was sitting there in pit road with who knows what the issue was. I'm not sure. But he was sitting there in pit road, and then the caution came out. So very timely for the 8 car. But I was about to mention that's big news right around the bubble. Nicky Martinez, Elijah Ironhouse, both right there in 9th and 10th, only about 7 and 8 points above the cut line, to get into the playoffs. So we're getting to that point in the season. That was really good for Keith Hughes, Aaron Hall, Felix Anderson, Peter Onjak, and Brett Bishop is sitting right there too. So those guys are all looking to see what's going on, if they're able to fix that 25 car or not. I mean, after being on the roof, I'm not sure if it's going to happen.
We've seen it before, but I don't think it's going to happen this time around. As it looks like we'll see pit stops on lap 6. This should get them to the end of the race on this tank of fuel. They would have had them make one stop anyway, and it would have come with about 5 laps to go in the race. So this is a timely caution for everybody in the field, because now they can come out and get fresh tires, a full tank of fuel, and be safe to go to the end of the race, except Elijah Ironhouse, who already got his, so he'll be your race leader when this all cycled through. From worst to first, Elijah Ironhouse. That's a good run for that car.
Boy, I'd love to say that I hired the guy who made that decision, but I have no idea why they made that pit stop. So we'll see. Maybe that 8 car is going to come back down for further adjustments or whatever. I still am curious about that, but yeah, that's oh, it looks like is that the 8 car coming
Yes, it is. That's him all by himself on the racetrack. It's turned into a great strategy call for Elijah Ironhouse. A mishap perhaps early on, but now it seems to have worked in his favor here, as it looks like Casey Cooper, Justin Hutchinson will lead him out on the pit lane, followed by Cooper, and then the 2 full frontal motorsport entries of Williams and Rogers. So good run from the full frontal motorsports guys as the field cycles out. Pit Sam Donato comes out right at the back where he was before this all started. And we will get a replay of what happened to Nicky Martinez, Jerry Cook, and Santiago Alvarez here at Pensacola. So this is Martinez running right at the back of the field with Cook and Alvarez. Donato's right behind them, so he could have been in this disaster as well. But it looks like Christian Russell and Cook are going to make contact and just hit Martinez upside down.
Oh, that is a nasty, nasty accident. I'm glad that we saw that 25 car rolling, and you know, we know that Nicky Martinez is at least well enough to insult to injury, but you know, that's just one of those things. It's a really tough situation. No control from any of those race cars.
So Nicky Martinez with her second DNF of the 2021 season, and it comes here early here at Pensacola. So with that being said, Ironhouse is your race leader. He stayed out under the caution because he pitted right before it, so he'll be your leader. Hutchinson will be second, Cooper third. Then it's Williams and Rogers fourth and fifth, and David Dixon having a phenomenal run. He started last in this race, and he's already up to 6th place ahead of the two Genesis Engineering cars of Kyle Corbett and Eric Monaco, 7th and 8th. Alex in the 3 runs 9th ahead of Abel DeGroat. That is your top 10 right now. So we cycle under caution at lap 8 of 40. The lights are still on the pace car, so we will have one more lap, at least one more lap under yellow before we go back racing.
Yep.
But it's going to be, this is going to be critical for Elijah Ironhouse. Have they fixed whatever plagued him at the start of the race? Because he started second, remember. And he's done a very good job to get back to the front, albeit it took some strategy for him to get there, but he still got there on his own merit. So it's up to him now to hold off this pack of, I believe, 37 cars that are still in this race, all of which are on the lead lap right now. So it's up to him to hold off the 36 cars behind him, because all of them have a shot at winning here tonight.
Yeah, you know, I would be very surprised if any of these cars that are starting up front right now are able to remain up front for the entirety of the rest of the race. I mean, it's possible. It's very possible. But I'd be very surprised if it were to happen, because it's this race track, just the way that the racing is here, you can't really just stay up front or even stay in any one position for the entire race. It's just not possible, because there's always runs that are coming from behind you. So you're at a huge disadvantage if you're the leader here, because everybody's going to have 4, 5, 6 lanes of space on either side to go around. So, you know, I mean, it's great that the 8 car is up there. You want to be up there. That's the best spot to start this race, but you're going to fall behind. So it's going to be all about who is able to work back through the field the best, who is able to get back up there at the right time, who is able to flow the best with this race, and be there on lap 39 and 40 when it's when they give out the points and the trophies.
So lights are out on the pace car. We have one more lap until this restart, which will come at the quarter distance mark of this race. Elijah Ironhouse is your leader, Hutchinson second, Cooper, Williams, Rogers the top 5, as you can see at the back of the field. Alexa Lutchen had a bit of a slow stop on her Ford. I think she might have been diagnosing some issue on her car as well. But she's still on the lead lap in 37, so she's still got a shot at winning. But unfortunately for Jerry Cook, Santiago Alvarez, and Nicky Martinez, all of their hopes for winning were dashed on lap 5 in that very bad accident. But thankfully, all 3 have climbed from their cars and are okay, which is the best news we could get. But turning back to the race at hand, Ironhouse is going to have a job to stay up in front of this field. And like you said, no driver is going to have an easy task staying up front. Yep. And I think you said it best. The driver that can navigate the pack the best of anybody is going to be your race winner tonight, because as you can see, Ironhouse, fastest lap actually has gone to David Dixon. That's an incredible lap from his Sol Speed Enterprises car to get up there. But as I was saying earlier, you need to be able to manage the pack the best of anybody in order to win this race. Drivers that can stay on the bottom of the racetrack whenever possible and carve their way through the field, I believe, are going to have the best shot of winning this race, as we're going to get to the restart here with about 30 laps to go.
Yeah, and that bottom lane is the blocking lane as well. You know, we haven't, for whatever reason here at this track, when you're the leader, it pushes a lot through the corners. So if you have a car that's able to stay on the bottom coming out of every corner, it's going to be a lot tougher to pass that car. So we'll see what happens here on the restart. Single file this time, and here they come to the green.
Elijah Ironhouse, Justin Hutchinson, Casey Cooper, Logan Williams, Zach Rogers. The green flag is in the air, and all of them take the green flag in single file formation. Logan Williams makes a move up high with David Dixon. I just realized there are 5 Dodges running 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th right now. The Dodges are having a very strong day here today. Could one of them find their way to victory lane for the first time all season?
Yeah, it's really possible. I mean, they've got some Hemi power under the hood, of course, so those vehicles are going to be fast, and if they all start to work together, it could get dangerous really quick for everybody else. But right now, Ironhouse is staying ahead, and Casey Cooper has made a move for second place, side by side with the 2 and the 51. Oh, 3 wide with the 42 on the bottom now.
That's Zach Rogers in the 42 with help from Kyle Corbett in the 86. So Rogers will now tuck in behind Elijah Ironhouse, and he will go with the 8 up high to complete lap number 10. We've got 30 laps to go, and Ironhouse continues to lead the way with help from Rogers. Cooper, who now gets put up top 3 wide because he's got the 2 Genesis Engineering Dodges underneath him, and Corbett and Monaco. Eric Monaco's yet to get a top 10 all season. Could tonight be the night for him as he takes over the 3rd position here?
Oh boy, this is getting really interesting because we got a couple of Dodges sitting here right behind Ironhouse, and you know how that can be with 2. There they go, manufacturer team. Well, I thought they were going to go together, but the 73 slips underneath the 42 there. And we'll see. So far, Ironhouse has done a really good job of holding that bottom lane, not letting anybody get underneath. We'll see if he does it again here. It looks like he will. That's going to be good. Oh, but he takes the block to the top. He's going to have to drop low because oh my gosh, this is incredible. And there's the 7 car of Aaron Hall coming into the picture, and they're 4 wide for second place.
4 wide. Chevy, Toyota, Dodge in that order. As Kenneth Grant, the winner here back in March, moves up to second place. Could we see a sweep of from the ZD Autosport team going to victory lane here with the same driver? Kenneth Grant only led the final 2 laps of that race. Could we see something similar happen here today? We've still got a long way to go in this race, but Kenneth Grant is in a very good position to steal another one here.
Yeah, and I just watched that 8 car slide up coming out of turn 2 just ever so slightly, but that's what's going to have to happen. This 55 car is going to be watching coming out of turn 2 every lap. That's going to be the opportunity to get low and get past the 8 car, because as soon as the 8 car has a car underneath him, he's going to start falling back just by the nature of how short the track is. But now the 55 is stuck up top, and we've got Chastain coming back on the bottom.
That's his teammate Devin Fair, actually, in the 0-1. They're painted very similarly. I can understand the confusion. But it's Devin Fair who's now tucked in behind Elijah Ironhouse. And Chris Lattimore is up there in the 47. We've barely mentioned him all season long, but here he is in the 3rd position, fighting for it with Kenneth Grant. And behind him, Zachary DeLello, Fair and Chastain's teammate in the 0-3. And Ryan Caggiano making moves as well. We've got a whole new cast of characters up in the top 10 now. Complete lap number 13, Ironhouse continues to lead this race.
This is really impressive from that 8 car, and I'm not just saying it because I'm the guy who funds it. I really think that I really thought that he was going to get past by now, and maybe have come back and gotten past again, in this amount of time since the restart. So this is a really impressive run from that 8 car. He's just staying on the bottom. He's not letting anybody get low, and we'll see what happens here. The 81 is making a move on Devin Fair there in the 01, not the 10 car, but it's a confusing situation, of course. So the 8 car still remains the leader. We'll see if the 81 can slip over the lead.
I don't think so, not this time anyway. So Caggiano and Cooper stay in line behind Ironhouse as they're 4 wide deeper in the pack. But right now, oh, here comes Caggiano to the inside, but Ironhouse will continue to lead, at least for that 1 lap. But now Caggiano's got help from Cooper and from Grant, and now Jared Jackson's fought his way up into the top 10 with help from Keith Hughes in the 11. So right now, it looks as though Caggiano will take the lead, and he will put the Australia native out in the lead of this race as we hit lap 15 with Case and Cooper hot on his heels.
Yeah, boy, I guess that Elijah Ironhouse is in the market because Ryan Caggiano just sold him the dummy coming down the front stretch. I mean, he went high and then just jumped low and absolutely spooked Elijah Ironhouse in that 8 car and took the lead from him. So really good move from that 81 car. Textbook here at a super speedway like this. And now we've got the 11 closing in on the leader. We'll see what happens here.
They just announced. Oh, Zach Rogers heads to pit road with some sort of issue on his 42. He was running up in the top 10 most of the night. So an issue for this 42. This will knock him out of contention, barring another yellow flag. But for right now, it's Caggiano leading. They just announced at King's Motorsports they have re-signed Caggiano for another year, as well as Nicky Martinez and Keon Daly for 2022, while at the same time adding Jared Jackson to their lineup for next year. So King's Motorsports going to have a very stacked lineup for 2022. But right now we still got 11 races left of this season, and Alexa Lutchen, we can report, is reportedly down a cylinder or two in that 50, so she will be swallowed up by this pack eventually, which is now being led by Dylan Young in the 92. He takes the lead as we got trouble on the front straightaway, and it looks like it was Logan Williams and Eric Monaco hard into the outside wall. Davey and Pena make their way past, and Abel de Groot has damage from that. Logan Williams' day is certainly over, and Chris Lattimore. We were talking about him just a little while ago, having such a good run, but it looks like both their days will come to an early end on lap 17, and this could possibly come at a perfect time for Zach Rogers as well to stay on the lead lap. Or either that, or he's already gone a lap down. It's hard to tell. But here they come to lap Alexa Lutchen, and it looks like Dylan Young will get around her easily, and this foursome of Young, Guerrero, Denoto, and Hughes will take the caution flag in the lead, with the rest of the pack trying to get around the 50 right behind them.
That is some dangerous stuff right there, but yeah, they're coming in, and the 42 car, I believe, is going to be saved just like the 8 car was for the last yellow. That's incredible that it's happened twice, but that was a scary accident. High speed coming down the front stretch, so we'll see how it happened. From what I saw, it looked like it was just another one of those things where there were too many vehicles in too little space. You know, it happens so often here where, wow, that was scary, the 42 coming by so quick. But yeah, you know, just they just don't have enough room to be going 6 and 7 wide. You know, it's just how it is, but everybody's got to run, everybody's got momentum. So we'll see how it happened, of course, real soon here. But for now, the 92 car is looking pretty good, sitting there in the lead.
We'll have to check the timing sheets to make sure that Zach Rogers is, in fact, on the lead lap, or if he's one lap down in the back of the field. So we'll get you an update on that as soon as we can bring it to you. But right now, it is Dylan Young out front, Jose Guerrero second, Denoto, Hughes, and Roberto Crown Jr. rounding out the top 5. And as they round turn 4, I'm pretty sure we've seen the only set of pit stops already in this race, so I don't think anybody's going to come down this time, and it looks like nobody will. So, with that being said, we can get you a replay of what happened to Williams, Monaco, and Lattimore as another crash has slowed this race on lap number 18. So here's Logan Williams, and I think he's going to make contact with Lattimore in the 47, I should say, and they just collect Abel de Groot, and that was a heavy impact into the inside wall there, and he just clips the 73 as he passes, and that was impressive for the 99 to not get collected as well of Giovanni Pena. So, and then Lattimore just plows into the back of Williams as they're coming to a stop from the accident. So Williams is out, Lattimore is out, Monaco is out. I think Abel de Groot may be able to continue in this race. Here we go now, on board with Eric Monaco in the 73. He'll see the crash ahead of him, and he'll duck down, hoping they'll come back up the track, and they do, but just not in time for Eric Monaco, who just goes skidding up the racetrack, and his hopes for his first top 10 of the season will not happen here tonight at Pensacola, because he will be out of this race as a result of that 17th lap accident, and that will knock him out of the race right there. So it's a shame for Eric Monaco. It's a shame for everybody involved, really. But it just goes to show super speedway racing is a dangerous business, and if you just get too close to one another, calamity can strike at any moment.
Absolutely, you know, and we watch that crash and we see that, you know, sometimes the stories, you know, they're there. The 3 car, who is our points leader, was almost involved in that crash. We saw that car on that onboard we just watched. It was the one that said truck yeah on the back of it, you know. So this, I mean, that could have been really big for Sam Denotto, who is sitting in 2nd in the points and sitting in 3rd in the running order of this race. And is this, are we looking at a problem on the track? Or,
it could be. I think Zachary DeLello might have run over a piece of debris on the racetrack, because he is down lower on the track than anybody else is. I think he's planning on pitting here at the 1 to go signal to come in and get some fresh tires on that Dollar General Chevrolet. Keon Daly's running down there as well. I'm not sure what the problem with his car is, but Zachary DeLello, who is going to come back to Team Dayspring in 2022, that's been squared away. He will drive the 03 full-time once again next year. But right now, this is just an unfortunate mishap for DeLello, who was running in 9th position when the caution came out. So he's having a good run, but this will undo it all here. He'll have to fight his way back from the back.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate for the 03 car right there. You know, you just hate to see it. It's one of those things, though. It's just part of it. Sometimes it's just bad luck. There's nothing more to it. Just bad luck for the 03.
We've seen punctures derail drivers' days in many races across many different series, and this is certainly going to be the case for Zachary DeLello under this caution flag. But we still have half this race to go, so he should be able to make his way back up to the front fairly easily, as long as it is just a flat tire and not something mechanically wrong. But I don't see any smoke coming out of that car, so he looks to be all right in that respect. So I believe he'll come down pit road here, get some fresh tires, come out at the tail end of the field, and start fighting his way back up. And then, yep, there he goes. He'll peel off and get some fresh tires and begin his charge from the back to the front. As it looks like we'll get the 1 to go signal this time around, so we'll have 1 lap to go until this next restart, which will come with 19 laps to go in this race.
Yeah, so something I want to watch for in this restart is going to be about that 92 car leading this race. Is that car going to be able to hold on to the lead like we saw Elijah Ironhouse do earlier in this race? If so, then I'm going to be thinking about that late race restart that we might get, you know? The one with maybe 3 or 4 laps left. Whoever's leading might be able to hold off the rest of the field. But on the other hand, if not, then that just shows that the 8 car is really strong. So all these guys are going to want to watch out for that car to get back up front. And, you know, maybe, and now that I'm looking at this restart, maybe the 92 car is not going to have the same opportunity that the 8 car had, because Alexa Lutchen is sitting right there in the bottom lane all by herself. So they're going to fan out on this restart. And we'll see what happens with the 50 car, who just went a lap down and who we know is down a cylinder or 2. So we'll see what happens. It might get a little bit wild on this restart.
They will be swarming around this 50 car to try and get around her in a big hurry. Tough luck for the better half of this field, because Nicky Martinez out in a crash. Alexa Lutchen down a cylinder and is already a lap down. It's tough going for them, but I'm sure they'll rebound for the next race, which will be in about 2 weeks at Watkins Glen. That'll be a really fun one to bear witness to. But right now, it looks like we will be focused on this restart coming up soon, with Dylan Young out front, Jose Guerrero second, Denotto, Hughes, Crown, Hutchinson, Dixon, Stevenson, Daly, and they haven't updated the scoring, so Zachary DeLello still being scored. Now that we can see Devin Fair will be in the 10th position as they come to the restart here with 19 laps to go here at Pensacola.
Yep, here they come. So we're going to see what happens with that 50 car as they take the green flag right here. The 92 leads the way, and the 78 follows. So far, the 50 has no speed, and Sam Denoto is going to go all the way to the bottom to pass the long way around. No help from behind, but he's going to get up to third place right there. Sam Denoto's had his fair share of lap car struggles at this racetrack this year. So that was a crazy move from the 00. Did not want to deal with it, but the 92 car is secured in the front spot.
But it's Dylan Young out in front of this race. Jose Guerrero in second. His only top 10 of the season came in this race in March. He finished in the top 5 that day. Could we see it happen again here tonight with that 78 car out of the Sol Speed group? But here comes Sam Denoto on the inside looking for second, and he's going to get it from Jose Guerrero as they come off turn 4. They're going to get side by side here. You can't even see the 50 in the shot anymore. That's how far back she's fallen. But now it's Dylan Young that continues to lead the way. And it was we keep talking about next year. It was announced that Young would make the jump to the Superstar Series in 2022, driving for Monster Motorsports during their transition to Dodge. So Dylan Young is going to be a rookie once again next year, but this time in the Superstar Series, racing on Sundays with the big dogs up front.
Yeah, that's, a really good run right here after a lot of confidence going into this race after a big announcement. Future plans secured. They're going 3 wide for second place behind Dylan Young. And that's Keon Daly again coming back up to the front. And look who's right behind. It's the 55, the 10, and the 8. They've all been up front today. And those are some fast race cars coming back right up to it.
And Keon Daly's been signed to continue driving that 52 car next year, so he's got some confidence as well going into this race. Kenneth Grant controls his own destiny for next year. He has assumed ownership of the ZD Autosport team ever since Wyatt Doolan sold it off and left the sport. So it's up to Grant whether or not this team will continue on for 2022. I hope they do. They've got some fast cars. In the 55, you got that bright blue number 11 up there. Kason Cooper's even led some laps here tonight. So that ZD Autosport team is very good. I'm just curious if they'll come back, and if so, in what form.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a big question a few weeks ago, if they were even going to continue at all, because of the issues that they had. And as far as this race goes right now, I'm watching that 8 car. Oh, man, that car is really quick, and he's moving up into second place. I saw Aaron Hall did not want to help that car get to the front because they know that if that 8 car gets up front, it's not going to want to give up the lead very easily, and it won't. But the 92 car, Dylan Young, he's got a few tricks up his sleeve, a couple of rookies racing up together, and they've got the rookie stripes, but they're not rookies in this series anymore. They're all out veterans, and they know what they're doing today. And we'll see what happens. The 8 car goes to the bottom. There it is. There's the movie. He worked up high. He pushed the 92 and then snuck low. And now he's got help from the 34 and the 81. Taking the lead is Elijah Ironhouse.
Young's got help up top from the 2 ZD Autosport cars of Grant and Cooper. But Ironhouse comes up to block Young. And that's going to allow Brett Bishop and Ryan Caggiano to get underneath him and move the 81 to the lead of this race with help from the 51 and the 77 of A.J. Jones, who's maintained a steady presence in the top 10. Jose Guerrero, his teammates right behind him. And how about that mint green number 21 of Jake McMillan? He DNF'd last time out of Indianapolis, but he's shown that this car has speed. He was running top 15 in Indy. He's running top 10 right now. That 21 car is going to go places, especially considering that they're opening a Turbo Truck Series team. That was also announced over the week, that we're inaugurating a Turbo Truck Series for 2022, and JHM Racing, which fields that 21 car right now, is going to be a part of that flagship series. So McMillan making moves, and so is Kason Cooper. He's going for the lead with help from Jose Guerrero in the 78.
Yeah, so now at this point in the race, we're starting to see some of those cars that are, they end up coming back to the front. They fall behind, they go to the outside, and they don't have the momentum, and they fall back, but they're coming back. And I'm looking at Kason Cooper, I'm looking at the 77 car, the 78 car has done it, the 8 car has done it, and the 81. All of those guys, they're going to be up there at the end. They're going to figure out a way, and they're going to race it out amongst themselves. And I see that 10 car back there as well, Francois Chastain. He has done it a couple of of times. And there's Sam Denoto also has been, you know, moving back up through the pack after losing some time. So we'll see what happens. We'll see which of those cars is able to lead across the stripe coming to the end of this race. But the laps are ticking down now. We're getting to it's go time, you know. You want to get up there and stay up there at this point in the race.
One car who's not in this lead pack critically is the number 3, Alex Verget-Berube, the points leader, who's currently 4.5 seconds off the lead pack in 29th position. So if Sam Denoto running in the top 5 right now, as Cooper makes a move for the lead here, as Sam Denoto runs in the top 5, that's going to allow him to gain a lot of time and a lot of points on Alex in the 3, who's currently not even, who's in the second pack, 4.5 seconds off this big group, as Cooper moves up into the top spot once again.
Yeah, I'd guess that probably has something to do with the 50 car being so slow on the restart and starting up front. That's just a guess, though. Of course, the 3 car might just be struggling today. They might be having a tough weekend, and they're really tight 3 and 4 wide for 3rd place right there. I thought that was going to be a wreck with the 23 and the 00, but they were able to hold it together. They were able to keep it straight. We're good to go. It's just really stressful to watch from up here.
Jared Jackson now pushing his future teammate for next year, Ryan Caggiano, in the 81. So he's trying to prove before he even gets there that he's going to fit in just fine at King's Motorsports. But right now, Cooper and Young have the preferred line with help from David Dixon and Aaron Hall. And Cooper is going to nose out Ryan Caggiano for the lead as we're approaching. We crossed the stripe, and we'll hit 11 laps to go here at Pensacola.
Yep, and Casey Cooper is still fighting for the lead on the the middle lane, but it was effectively the inside because they were too wide, able to drop back down. I really feel like the bottom lane is where you want to be to finish this race. You know, that's where all the passes are being made for the first position. They're coming from the bottom lane. Here's a David Dixon down. Oh no, look out for the 50! Oh, they're coming the
lapper. That is very risky business that Alexa Lutchen's putting herself in right now, and that's going to split the pack up in a big way. Look at her. She's sending the outside lane to the back, and critically, that includes Sam Denoto in the 00. All that work he did to gain time on Alex Verget-Berube, and now he's going to miss out because here comes Lutchen down to the inside. This is disaster for Sam Denoto.
It's like some kind of side mission or something, it seems, for the 50 car to block as many cars as possible right now. This is crazy.
And there's that second pack coming up right behind these guys. You can see them at the back of your shot, and led by Zach Rogers in the 42. Lutchen's holding these guys up, and now you can see Alex Verget-Berube in the 3 right back there, and now Sam Denoto and Alex Verget-Berube are in the same pack. This is disaster for Sam Denoto. Not at all what that Carter Racing System team wanted to see, as Lutchen finally makes way for the lead lap cars to make their way past. That's not right. The officials are definitely going to take a look at that, because Alexa Lutchen should not have put so many cars at risk there. As right now, we got a 4 wide battle for the lead. Bishop, Hutchinson, Caggiano, and Hughes for the lead.
Yeah, and that 8 car is still in this lead pack. You know, that's one of those cars that a lot of these guys probably would have preferred to be in the second pack because he's been so fast today. But he's still up there, and Casey Cooper is up there as well. Those are two race cars I'm looking at to win this thing. Maybe the 81 as well, and Keon Daly in the 52. And I start to list off all the cars that are in the front pack. But boy, oh boy, this is going to be a fascinating race. And you know, we might get another yellow, of course. I believe they're probably going to have to pass the 50 car again, and she'll be running directly in the middle of the track. So you know, anything can happen in this race.
Casey Cooper leads at the line. That will be his 4th lap lead of the day. But right now, here comes Keon Daly to the inside with help from his teammate, Roberto Crown Jr. in the 18. And Roberto Crown Jr. has signed to return to King's Motorsports as well. King's Motorsports making a lot of silly season moves early here, which is very good for that organization. So to keep their drivers around, because they're having a very good season altogether. But now Keon Daly gets around Casey Cooper to take the top spot. As we're closing in on the end of this race, we'll only have 7 laps to go when we get to the line here.
Yeah, confirming things for the next season, and making sure your drivers know that they're going to be there. They're not racing for their lives anymore. That's a huge benefit to how the drivers are racing and how they're feeling, and how their mentality is going into the weekend. You know, it's all that stuff. So the Kings Motorsports guys right now, and including Jared Jackson, who's going to be there next season, I bet you the confidence is just enormous from those race car drivers. So, you know, these cars are going to be people to watch out for the rest of the season, and there's a big move for the lead from one of them.
That's Roberto Crown Jr. in the 18, who's making a move on his teammate with help from Chastain in the 10 car, and Daly's got help from Keith Hughes on the outside, but it looks like that inside line with Crown, Chastain, Guerrero, McMillan, and Jones. They're all going to power around Keon Daly, and Roberto Crown Jr. takes the lead. For the first time tonight, we've got 6 laps to go from Pensacola.
Oh my gosh, the laps are ticking away. It feels like, you know, every single time they go by that stripe, I feel like there's so many laps left, and then at the same time, I'm feeling like there's not enough laps left. How are people going to get back up there, you know? But they're sitting 4 wide in this huge pack right now for the front, and then we've got a bunch of teammates working together right now, people sliding up out of the corner, unsponsored cars running in the top 3. This is an awesome race, and I have no idea who's going to be able to win it.
I'd give the Team Dayspring cars a good shot at it, because here they are running 1-2. Chastain and Fair. Fair's already won this season. Chastain has never won in the Nitro National Series. Could tonight be the night for Francois Chastain as he comes to take 5 laps to go at Pensacola, with Justin Hutchinson making a move down on the inside of Fair. This could split up the teammates here. And it looks like, no, they stay in single file formation. As long as they stay like that, I doubt anybody at the front of the field will be able to catch them.
No, I totally agree with you there. These guys are absolutely running. You know, they're in a good spot, but now Hutchinson is going to come to the bottom. It looks like he's going to maybe be on the inside.
Yeah, he will. That splits up the teammates here.
3 wide, too. They're
3 wide behind Francois Chastain. He's only got 4 more laps coming to the stripe to take 4 laps to go. He's only got that short amount of distance to hold off this snarling pack of cars. I wouldn't count any of these cars out of the mix to win this race. We've got 4 laps to go. Caggiano makes a move to the inside. This could hurt Chastain as the 81 with help from Brett Bishop and Dylan Young. And don't look now. There's Elijah Ironhouse, 5th car back on the inside. But by the end of this race, he can make his way up to the front. You just never know at these super speedways.
Yeah, I'm starting to piece together how this is going to happen. I'm starting to try to find how drivers need to move around and be to place themselves in the position to win this race. And right now I'm feeling like if you are anywhere in this front pack, you need to get to the bottom as fast as you can so that you have the ability to move up through the field and get to the front. People are not passing on the outside right now. You need to be on the bottom.
Here comes lap traffic. Abel DeGroat in the 5. They haven't dealt with him yet today. So with 3 laps to go in this race, they're going to have to do a lot of scrambling to get around this 5, and it looks like they're all going to be held up by Abel DeGroat in the 5 equally. They're all going to be held up on that equally, and the inside lane, the outside starting to form a bit of momentum with Bishop, Chastain, and Hutchinson. But now DeGroat makes the move up to the high side. That should allow Caggiano to get underneath him. And don't look now, but that very inside lane with Elijah Ironhouse leading the way. They're making a charge here, but now Ironhouse moves up. They're going 4 wide.
This is incredible racing right now. The 8 car has now been stuck on the outside lane. There's the 5 car is holding up people on the very outside lane, and this pack has been split yet again by a lap car, and we'll see. Oh man, everybody up front probably really wanted to see that with the 8 car falling back. Aaron Hall is back there as well. But now we've got an all-out battle. Caggiano in the lead. Dylan Young in 2nd place. You know that car is fast as well. We're 2 laps to go. 1.5 at this point. You know, we're coming down to the backstretch. This is going to be a crazy finish, and I still don't know who's going to win. There's a big move on the backstretch.
Dylan Young goes low, but Keith Hughes goes even lower in that 11 car. Could he be the one to complete a sweep for ZD Autosport here at Pensacola? We're coming to the white flag this time. Dylan Young takes the lead from Ryan Caggiano, but it's still anybody's guess who's going to win this race at Pensacola. We've got a huge pack of cars still fighting it out for victory, and as they come off turn 4, white flag in the air one more time around from Pensacola.
Oh, and they were so close at the line right there. It was .01 that time by. I have no idea who is going to win this race, if it's going to be one of those two on the front row, or if it's going to be somebody from farther back. It's just incredible to watch. It could be the 6 car, it could be the 11, the 78 is sitting right there too, but right now Dylan Young is leading the way right next to Ryan Caggiano. This is going to be incredible coming through the final 2 corners. They're going to go 3 wide for it.
Keith Hughes on the bottom with help from Jose Guerrero coming from 3 and 4 for the final time. Could this 11 go to victory lane and sweep this track for ZD Autosport? Coming off turn 4 for the final time, it's going to be Keith Hughes with a pack of 3 wide behind him. Coming off turn 4 for the final time, it's Keith Hughes in the 11 for ZD Autosport. Completes the sweep at Pensacola. He's your winner in a chaotic finish from this Pensacola Superspeedway. What a finish on a last lap pass to settle the victory in favor of Keith Hughes for the first time in his career. He is a 1UP Nitro National Series winner. Jose Guerrero gets his career best finish in second by an inch ahead of Ryan Caggiano in third. Dylan Young comes home fourth, and Brett Bishop rounds out the top 5. Earl Sear gets his first career top 10 in 6th ahead of Roberto Crown Jr. Cason Cooper likewise gets his first career top 10 in 8th ahead of Keon Daly, and another first career top 10 for David Dixon, who started last in this race. He finished 10th at the end of this wild 40 laps at Pensacola. Can you believe we saw quite a finish like we just saw here tonight?
I mean, that was absolutely amazing. You know, the 11 car made a fantastic move. He even set it up a whole lap before. You know, he was testing out the water, seeing what he could do on the very bottom of the track, down the backstretch, you know, and he made that move 3 wide going into the final corners of the race and just made it happen. What an absolute monster of a move right there. That was just everything you want to see at this racetrack.
And on top of that, he led only the final lap here tonight.
Absolutely, and then of course he was sitting there in 11th in points just before this race started, and he was like 2 points above the cut line, you know, tied with Aaron Hall. So that was big for the 11 car. So boy, what a fantastic race. I love coming to this racetrack because it's always just such an exciting experience, and you know, we always get great finishes like that. So that was absolutely entertaining.
So while the Superstar Series heads to Dover next week, the Nitro National Series will be off, but we'll return with this series in 2 weeks' time for the road course in upstate New York, Watkins Glen International. It proved to be a great race for the Superstar Series last year. I'm sure it'll be a great race for both series here tonight. Next weekend, 2 weekends from now, whatever it may be, this next race at Watkins Glen will be a thrill, I'm sure, for all involved. We hope you'll join us for that as well, and we hope you'll remember this race for a long time to come, because this race was a thrill from start to finish. So from Duke Ansack and from myself as well, we say goodbye for now from the Pensacola International Superspeedway. But we got to give our big congratulations to Keith Hughes, who with a last lap pass led his only lap of the day. He is a winner in the 1UP Nitro National Series, and he does it on the high banks at Pensacola.